A time has finally come for my 500th episode. For this occasion, having been at this for 2 years and 500 episodes, I've decided here to review my favorite movie, The Dark Knight. And here we go. The opening on the haunting score of Hans Zimmer and James Harrow playing off the opening of any place to get a bad film made of flames. What companies can do to give their logos more variation these days, but that's not important right now. As the camera slowly moves into the building in Gotham City, we see men in Clemens smash up a window climbing onto the roof of another building. Then the group heads into a truck and gets ready to rob a bank, deciding to do something with the Joker. They're surprised at the fact that the Joker's not participating, but is expecting to cut the money. The men with Hardy wears makeup to scare people. The clowns in the bank start firing their guns in the air, pulling down the tellers. The Joker tries to side them, but surprised out of a partner rather than 911. Then his assistant kills him. As the heist continues, one of the bankers rises to his office and pulls a shotgun on the clowns. This is the once-seen character actor William Fichtner. He tends to play villains a lot. The clowns then shoots the bank and one of the breaks in the vault. It's open safecrackers kill the clown who shoots and takes the money. The clown asks the Joker to total and kill him once he got the cash. He replies he kills the bus driver. The bus crashes into the bank, and the last clown does indeed kill the bus driver as soon as the money is loaded. The banker then addresses the last one, berating for his actions. He thinks the criminals Gotham used to believe in things. Honor, respect. Look at you! What do you believe in, huh? What do you believe in? The clown then rams a grenade into his mouth. He replies, whatever doesn't care simply makes you a stranger. He's pulled off his back to reveal he is a Joker. It's another example of he likes to complete a film role. Again, how much I admire his performance later, for now he just drives up with straight on Jack pulling a grenade pin. Still loot police and blending with the convoy school buses. That night, we see the changes come since Batman has come to Gotham. He has been such an infatuated police. He's especially a major crime unit that was called stop what they're doing on the mere sight of bat signal in the night sky. If he doesn't show up, that means Gordon, once again played by Gary Oldman, knows he's busy, hopefully. Sheriff Cutter against talking drugs played by her drugs for his users. Turns out Dr. Jonathan Crane, aka Scarecrow, played by Cillian Murphy. Christopher Nolan only intended to use in one film, because with tributes of popular fans brought about Professor Trilogy, and has become one of Nolan's regular collaborators on the project since inception. This is also well in the pet guards and he's a Batman. So a group of decoys shows up with guns. Probably showing why I couldn't live Batman's lifestyle, but just a key part of the character. As Crane's able to tell why these are fakes and take out one of them with his toxin. As you know, the real Batman shows up, after Hans and Jamie returns the demon takes the doppelgangers. He has a Batmobile clear out the games before capturing Crane. He tells the decoys to stay away. Batman then goes to the bank, Hank, to meet with Gordon about the Joker. Since on the mark goes, the police plan rather than trace the bulk of the mob's money. They unsure the Joker's intentions and plan to give priority to seizing the money from the banks the mob is deposited in. Then goes to Bowie's penthouse where it's not here. Goes back, he was just a bunker until he gets his cargo tears on my winning enterprises. I definitely enjoy the trilogies like what happened if Batman really tried to do what he does in our world. It's only until Bruce Wayne would simply buy up a bunch of Vanger property for his personal use, then pass off a split to an eccentric billionaire. Richard Dawes not played by Meg Gyllenhaal, now Dean Attorney Harvey Dent played Aaron Eckhart. So it helps tend to Bruce's wounds. Bruce claims Batman has none, but Alfred plays that Bruce Wayne does. We then cut to a courtroom where Harvey Mitchell hearing a case involving Sergeant Murray being controlled by a county crime family. He's going to stand to the guard on Harvey, but gun jams. Harvey punches the guard. He places the gun on the table to casually taking the clever and pointing out the gun is 28 made in China. Then says Murray wants to kill folks when he's a buy American. So I wonder how well done the performance are and how really they film treats outlook on crime. Production values are running on par with main straightforward crime dramas. It's also pointed out it took me at least an hour to cover the first 15 minutes of the movie in the writing process. It's going to be another long 500 episode. Harvey meets with Gordon about getting a warrant for search and seizure on the mob banks. He was surprised to mark bills and interested in meeting Batman. Gordon claims the policy to arrest him. Harvey didn't ask about a bad signal going in place. Got problems around functioning equipment and to take them up the maintenance. To the head Jarhead Nolan, Scott Covert, and David Squire has plenty of dry humor and often a very tense account because the Joker will come in question about God's sake of a real place. Unless this tends to be quite common in darker Batman stories, he's in the comics and darker Batman adaptations. In particular, this one is slightly based on Lawn Howling by Jeff Loeb and The Killing Joke by Alan Moore. I'm getting into both stories, how the stories played in the films for now. Fergus Grant Gordon, one Sister Caesar, his talk shows about political ideas looking out for Gotham in different ways. We cut to Wayne Enterprises, where Chain's account named Lars offering a business to Wayne Enterprises and his firm allows security investments. Bruce puts the interest, but Lucius Fox, with Morgan wants to talk to Bruce while his colleagues go over Dylan's in the deal. Fox really does his other side wants some very shady dealings if given the annual rate the company has grown. Bruce has a call for the deal. Also give Fox designs new bats that way more practical and combat easier to move in. This is also the first person who has to wear a child one's head in order to move in the cowl. Prior to this, most casual zombies require the actor stunt while playing Batman to return the whole body movement and often makes fighting difficult. Obvious goes to parking garage near the beginning was the first time the issue was addressed in the character's film history. At dinner, Harvey takes Rachel to a very nice restaurant. Bruce meets another athlete of Russian ballet dancer named Natasha. We together talk about how Gotham idolizes Batman taking a street level behind a mask. Natasha's more in favor of Harvey cleaning up Gotham political means, as it were a hero of the face. As Harvey Hearst opened the idea of Batman being someone to give Gotham to believe in. As then we hear one of the most clever lines of the film since its release. Rather die a hero, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. We then cut to a room where Ramoni and the other mob figures in Gotham meet, discuss how the police have found their money. Via satellite, that points out that $68 million money has been stolen by the Joker. He then says he moved the money to kill Killer planning corrupt officers in the DCU, and the MCU, and the corrupt politicians in the EFs all in to catch up when the police raid. Joker then steps into my room, kisses a knife again, and I thought my jokes are bad. Gamble in the box when motion for his body could stop him, so he's going to make a pencil with it. A guy personally ran his pencil through his skull. It wasn't even a sharp end, it was on the eraser end. The Joker insists on one element the mob has taken into account. Batman. He is one that's shown what they're capable of, and like how to stir more idealists. Points out that even though her law going to try to stop her doing anything, it will not stop Batman from anything he's allowed to confess. Joker offers a solution. It's simple. We kill the Batman. Officer Duto exchanges half the mob's money. Gamble on Street Joker inside put a bounty on his head. Joker then offers his services and leaves his card. Now has escaped to China, and Harvey Gwen lets Batman bring him back. Fox sends him to give him Fox, claims redesigned armor and means to capture him now. Method station has a Skyhook or fault in surface air recovering system. Bruce Lee able to charter planes just such an occasion. And Joker then tricks Wayne Gamble's hideout manager to get one of the many versions of how he got scars. Some of the King Joker's part the Joker considers possibly multiple choice. Such there have been many interpretations of Joker in both the comics and adaptations. I think as much credit by such as gives the Gamble Chiltern. The Gamble dies at a shock. Also Chris Miller Circle Bell has one brain. It makes a pure code for the tryouts. Fox needs to allows his plea phone to be checked for security purposes. Just that joint ritual beyond allows to remain in inside holdings. Fox then gives persuade mapping the event with Silner sending Fox at R&D fix up. That night, Batman goes to work and capturing line a very impressive action sequence where he dives from the disability and captures all the scars and delivers in the Gordon Major Crimes Unit. He'll convince to testify against his clients. However, we will get the case heard in Quincy Rico's statue. Quincy has to keep something to his own cells. Not sure what the other inmates at County will do. Mob agrees to hire the Joker to catch him with Lyle's indictment, saying he was right about Batman. Just as well, here's good business to go to the Joker card case file. I also love this little bit where Snug is simply shrugging at defendants and shouting their pleas at once. The mayor is astonished how Harvey was able to get this hurt, but now it's on him. If anyone happened then, all the crimes will be released, then another Batman was found down news outside the mayor's window with Joker grin. Then the card then dares Batman to come forward. So everybody was really surprised to that Batman take off his mask to his head. If he doesn't, people will die starting that night. That night, Bruce holds a party. He heard down his beneficiaries because of Harvey's doing clean up Gotham City. Bruce then tells Rachel Gotham's hero to face and Harvey is a hero. Put half of Gotham's criminals behind bars without wearing a mask. At the MCU, forensic justice determined that Cirillo, Harvey, and Commissioner Lowe have been targeted, which measures hide Harvey, but Cirillo's car is bombed, and Lowe was given poison whiskey. The Joker then starts talking to Bruce Wayne's beneficiaries, demanding to know where Harvey is. Then threatens Rachel, knowing she's tied to Harvey. The Batman against is a Joker. Batman's very skilled combatant. The Joker's berserk unpredictable movement essence. Batman rescues Rachel. Well, everyone realizes then how big a threat the Joker is in this universe. Bruce says the mob crossed the line, but after surprise he crossed the line first, which resulted in hiring the man to fully understand. Dan is an antidote of his time overseas, with the message that some men are looking for ideological black money. It can be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn. Next night, Batman visits the crimes of evidence. Gwen discovers Joker's next target, the mayor, Anthony Garcia. Mr. Easton discovers the records of applied science and just something is going on with R&D and the money being spent. Research discovered the truth and demands $10 million to keep quiet about. What's the response? Let me get this straight. I think that you'll climb on the wealthiest half-man in the world and seek the adventure but it's nice beating the opponents with public's bare hands. Your plan is a bad thing, person? Good luck. Fox helps Bruce with finding the fingerprints and Bruce asks R&D about R&D. Bruce tells him the government communication project was surprises Fox. Bruce will trace a fingerprint to the Empire building of William Loeb's funeral. The cops are going to fuel a switch with Joker's men. Gwen ends up taking the bullet of the mayor. I know that. Harvey then set Rachel as next target. Batman then takes more information to Joker. This contains the very obvious use to stunt Eric Roberts when Batman shots him away from the building because Joker's not going to break his demands. I wanted to get him to take off the mask. Harvey then phones Rachel about Gordon's sacrifice, and Rachel says go to Bruce's penthouse. Bruce is one of the few remaining trustworthy people in the city. Harvey's interrogating one of Joker's men involved in the assassination attempt on the mayor. Harvey is noticeably becoming unhinged in Eric Roberts' performance and waits to start frustrating what happened to him standing up as becoming Two-Face. The long Harvey sort of retelling Two-Face's origin story as well as ways showing the effects criminal world has on Gotham. When Harvey says Joker's couldn't when they're killing him, Batman pushes Harvey and tells him he won't find out, although he did a claim so he will be for nothing. Harvey must take a serious and cannot. Hospital's goodbye. Harvey's outraged but knows what will be done. Bruce talks to Rachel about his penthouse and tells her he will turn himself in the press conference tomorrow. And so unfortunately, if he does that, they won't let them be together. Bruce then buries a hedge. If it's just to enjoy his Batman, he can be the outcast. He can make the choice no one else can make. The right choice. Harvey then addresses the public about Batman turning himself in and what they should do given the Joker's demands, because just Batman should make a sacrifice. Harvey then offers himself up as Batman's plan to drop out Joker as he's taken in. And Rachel's not happy with this and pops himself over there to get to Bruce at the right time. He then announces his plan to hand to Rachel and gives her his lucky coin. Rachel then finds out the trick coin. Now we begin one of the most iconic action sequences in the film. Cuts amongst the Gotham police and the Joker and his men in the low streets of Gotham. This hiding level uses little no CGI. Still insisted on filming the same scale models in real cars. He also hears some of the award-winning sound designs, Joker and fires increasing larger weapons of the convoy. The Tom of the Batmobile and takes the rocket and goes swatch while crippling it. Then Batman then gives a new vehicle, the Batpod, the massive motion with an engineer's wheel. And takes hold Joker continues to rampage behind a massive semi-truck. Batman flips the semi-truck over on its back. That was not CGI, that's a real truck they actually rigged to flip. You also see a bit more that to portray Joker's movements, less than quite the damn range Batman dares to hit him, and goes to satisfy psychotic whims. As the last part of the plan, and Gordon's revealed to be alive. So Harvey says Gordon's transfer with Joker's taken to the MCU. Batman Joker reveals nothing. The man then promotes Gordon to rank a police commissioner, patrician applause, and sarcastic applause of the Joker. At the MCU, there's a man not feeling well in the cell with the Joker. Gordon speaks with his family when he's called back to the MCU. Harvey didn't ever meet at home. Gordon wants to know what happened to him. Joker's been in the cell the whole time and says he doesn't have much time. Gordon leaves the cell and the lights come on to reveal Batman inside the Joker. The interrogation seems one of the favorite parts of the movie, showing a dynamic between Batman and the Joker, and highlights how something happened to one of them, and life for the other not be possible. The Joker did not really want to kill Batman, he merely wanted to worthy opponent. Going back to how the Killing Joke influenced the story, the still character the Joker does not respect his instincts. He wanted to cause chaos and panic simply because he finds it funny. Then Rachel goes to work on the Joker. He reveals another hostage in Rachel, and he gives Batman the locations out of many pommels. Harvey is rigged up against a bunch of Orton's ready to blow within 5 minutes. So the officer guards the Joker. He says to him he's been there feel long enough to know the difference between people in the attitude adjustment. Fakes like him will just enjoy it. I must admit I've encountered many people like that online. The man inside the cell starts seizing the guards calling a medic. As Harvey tries to escape, tries to reassure him, but enters the city motion instead of making Two-Faced. Many comics handle this in different ways, but long Harvey's most one number is how powerful it became hurt and gains a physical limits because of making a psychotic serial killer known as Two-Face. Then Eckhart goes through this portrayal and serves to make him the most frightening, genuinely threatening as Two-Face I've ever seen. The next discovers something inside the man goes to try to glass board a man a phone call. It's a detonate explosive charge in the man's stomach. Batman is able to rescue Harvey, but not for the charge to explode, killing Angel and sculling Harvey. Joker then kidnaps Lyle and escapes. The scene of Batman overlooking the remains of the building is overlaid with Harvey being taken to the hospital and reading Angel's letter to Bruce. Rachel wanted to marry Harvey, but Alfred decides to keep the letter secret from Bruce, encouraging him to continue on his Batman despite all that has happened. It tells how he caught the thief mentioned 40 minutes later in the film. Shrew burning the forest down. Mason decides to come forward Batman's true identity on the news. Gordon then confronts Harvey about what has happened, and Harvey only feels 16 advance. When they use makeup, CGI shows the damage, and when he then gives the location Joker up. Now gives the Joker his half of their money and simply decides to burn it. For the 45 minutes in the movie of its story, he was right. Joker proclaims all you care about is money. This town deserves a better class of criminal. I'm going to give it to him. Then says to feed a chicken to his own dogs, and it is an ultimatum to press wings of years. Kill him in 1 hour, or Joker will destroy a hospital. Gordon manages to get recent police custody while evacuating the hospitals. Bruce makes it hard possible gets information on police officer with his family in the hospital. Joker manages to get Harvey Lund convinced that Rachel is nothing personal. Also manages to convince Harvey to go after corrupt man inside Gordon's unit. With this, he becomes Two-Face. Long Harvey marked a major turning point of the character, and the film uses all of its influence. The Joker then makes Gordon try to destroy the hospital, which managed to stop from crashing in the cruiser with Reese. Gordon opts to find the Joker, but they was taking much for the hostages from the hospital evacuation. The Joker in the city will be his night to anyone doesn't want to take part is keen to get out, but the Bridge tunnel caught him for a surprise. Warriors on the corrupt cars and Gordon is found and killed by Two-Face, and Batman suddenly charged Joker. September himself on Sony and Dragon. Fox not happy with this. Batman says he has to become stop him. Fox says he will help him, but no more after that. Two-Face then goes to money information on the other trader. Superman decides to kill his driver all the toss a coin. They start transporting 30,000 off the island. The boats are then mobilized over the Bane River explosives. Joker then presents a social experiment. Each of the Furies has to detonate the other boat's bomb. One presses the button, the Joker will let them both live. If no one presses the button, or if anyone tries to leave, Joker will destroy both boats. When everyone on board is finished fighting, the shows what the prisoners must have so. Batman distracts there's occasionally Gordon there. The hostages everywhere in the building. Meanwhile, Harvey is convinced Ramirez to leak Gordon's the location he was scarred. Good. Then climax as Batman sweeps in the building for hostages while beating a SWAT team. Gordon finds his family kidnapping at Harvey's hands. While he faces cinematography, manages to hide how intense the whole situation is. This next looks like a superhero film. It looks more like a crime thriller. This further solidifies how Joker is used to clown hostages and the doctors as men. The debate of areas continues, but the contrast between two viewpoints. Batman first to push away many SWAT teams to find out the Joker's ploy. Batman reaches Joker and starts welling on with a pipe. On the board of prisoners, a larger prisoner played by Tony Lister demands a detonator and throws out the window. The board of civilians, a man just debate in the first place finally puts the detonator away. Joker's social experiment has failed, much to his chagrin. Batman believes in his actions, first picks up close to Joker, and hands him one strong family hooks. Joker's last scene in 5 from he starts to complete it, he even goes out of ways to find the dynamic between himself and Batman. All in one passage. I think you and I are destined to do this forever. Even though there have been many interpretations of mythology over the years, and probably many more in the future, I think that's a perfect encapsulation of their dynamic. Then the Joker reveals what he has done to Hardy Dent. His final scene, Two-Face manages to not only be a great friend to Gordon's family, also unlock very good how Noah works to have been twisted into physical injuries of kind psychological trauma to the surface. Harvey then threatens to kill Gordon's son when Batman arrives. But manages to convince Harvey to shoot him. Harvey then turns a gun on himself and Gordon's spears and gives no way for Batman to save Gordon's son. Harvey falls to his death, with Gordon Rocket Batman Gotham who fails with a symbol, Batman put to be incorruptible. Batman takes responsibility for Gordon's crimes, and Joker's crimes is from cuts between Alfred Bunny Major's letter to Bruce, Gordon then Hardy just enjoying the Bat Signal. When its opening moments lends to its final shot of Batman driving off on the Batpod, this has remained my favorite movie for 5 years. This movie has proof that you can not only apply characters with decidedly odd appearances to the way we expect them to behave in realistic fashion setting, but also a dark we have noble characters and narrators and a story that has an optimistic message. That's the type of darkness I prefer. Not only kind of takes it on seriously, but also as meant to convey some sort of meaning. I find it before I more effective than simply being dark in and of itself. Sure enough, many agree with me. Those critically acclaimed as a new because the box time release, one post on special point anti-Oscar for Heath Ledger died in overdose after completing work on the film. And it's widely recognized not only as a great superhero film, not only as many people say the film of Dark Knight Saga, but a great film on its own merits. Regardless of whether or not people see Batman Begins or the Batman material in their life, these are the Valkyrian called makes a type of people may want to get into Batman. Despite what others may think, something you enjoy and enjoy talking about is even better when you have others to share it with. That's why I'm glad to spend so much time with all of you, and hope to keep doing so in the near future. Fan waiting for Shadow 4. I'm looking forward to 2014. I'll get some recording any uploading back up by the time you see this. Quite a bit of energy has been devoted to this, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I had working on it.